Okay, shall I start?
Yeah, you can start.
Yes, ma'am. The question was like in your initial stage, obviously you would have faced many hurdles, you would have crossed many hurdles, and also like you would have learned many things as it is related to women, especially. You would have had people with different insights. So, having all this, how did you enjoy in creating your own company?
Okay. See, the thing is when you're having your own brainchild, the difficulties that will come along the way, you will definitely learn to ride them and have fun. And there were many challenges that we faced coming from the very base root. If I have to say, my parents coming from conservative Rajput family, to tell that I am heading a business with a man came in as a huge surprise for them. Okay, and that he was my colleague back then. So Dheeraj was a colleague back then. So
we are still colleagues at Team Parikrama.
Yeah, we are still colleagues here at Team Parikrama. So it is just that when I wanted to step into business as a woman, there were serious doubts that many people had. In fact, when I went on a recce to see the place and check if there was a good washroom for my kids to go, for my students to go and use it, then whether to good food was available, and whether the place that we were going was safe enough for the amateur trekkers, to check all those things. Even I was an amateur trekker back then. So when we went with one of our friends,
I still consider both of us to be amateurs because
yeah,
we are still learning a lot of things. Yeah.
So back then, when I went on my first recce to check it, our very close friend who had accompanied us had a serious doubt whether this girl will be able to do it or not. And today he says, Raj, the first time when I saw you trekking, for every 100 meters, you were panting, you were just standing there. Oh, this will not happen. We thought that you will not be in a place that you are today. So, challenges, it was there, and proving them wrong definitely gives you a next level satisfaction. And when you're having a very positive and learning atmosphere, which Dheeraj was able to provide. It was a very good experience altogether. For me, it is definitely, even today, every day is a learning experience for me, that comes from Dheeraj. And
I think it's mutual. Like we all learn from each other also.
And something that I learned along the way and would like to share it to the world is from one of my favorite authors, Robin Sharma, who told, any change is going to be difficult in the beginning, messy in the middle, but beautiful in the end. So that is something that I have definitely learned. And Dheeraj?
I forgot the question.
The insightful things that you had along the journey. What made you go?
How did you enjoy like creating your company, having all this hurdles?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I was just buying some more time. I did remember the question, but then I was just buying some more time to give you the answer. Well, every day as a challenge, every day as a new learning curve, every day you got to balance. And just to introduce ourselves to the world of travel and tourism, we still haven't gotten to like the full-time business opportunity. We're still balanced with the professions that we are into. I teach at a firm and she teaches at a college. And, when you have to balance this out, right? So that's a joy that you get. And finally, when you do it, there are days when you don't get sleep. There are days that you go to sleep after a satisfying event. So every day is a learning thing, right? Yeah. And what I've also realized is if it is your idea, it is you that you have to be with yourself and then carry on. And there are challenges. Yes, there are phases wherein our friends were there to support. There were phases where our family were support. But then there were also phases wherein we had nobody but just our idea, and we still end up having just ourselves and nobody else, right? So at the end of the day, I think it is going to be just you, and it is your idea. If you wanted to make it happen, you have to work extra hard or smart or whatever it takes you to be. But at the end of the day, you got to believe in all those things.
The journey of being an entrepreneur is, having loads of people around you at one time and nobody with you sometimes. So it is like an amazing journey, challenging both physically as well as mentally. So to keep ourselves grounded, you have to be an entrepreneur. Then amazing lessons, life lessons.
There are days like, say, it might give you extreme joy, but then there are days which would put you extremely down and then make you think, should you really continue this? Okay. Very recently, I was just telling you to Raj, saying, should we actually do this, or should we really worry about doing this? Because it takes a lot of effort, right? And if something goes wrong, then there are people pointing at you and then saying you did this. But when things
Exactly.
go right, there will be nobody patting your back, but just yourself, right? Uh, so yeah, every day you got to just push yourself. Even when things go wrong, you got to just believe in that idea and then make
Keep
sure that
yourself motivated through and through.
So you people are inspiring me in each question. And I
Thank you
like
so
the
much, Vandana.
yes, I
our
like your
inspiring thing,
optimistic. Yes.
our inspiring thing also ended up in a police station case also sometime. Uh, I mean, I'm just giving you a heads up because I'm sure a lot of people would be watching this interview now. Uh, like, the previous questioner asked me, like, what is the idea that you got to give it to people who want to get started with? You got to be ready to step into even the police station. Yeah.
Anything, anywhere you have
Just
to
to
do it.
face it.
But one thing is you have to be ethically strong.
Yeah.
And legally extremely strong. You need to establish your entity which is recognized by law. Then nobody can do anything.
That optimistic view on your experiences is really great.
Thank you,
So,
Vandana.
so my next question is like, how long did it take for you to find the success, and what is your success mantra?
Okay, the success mantra for us is to be really grounded and rooted to the culture that we have established at Team Parikrama. And another thing is uh, giving people the experience which can make a change in their life. That is something, a story which they can remember even after 10 years and tell, oh my God, I did that. So when people feel, and I will tell you one instance, a girl who was almost 90 kilos, okay, and she had signed in for the trek and she just did halfway and she told, I will not be able to do it anymore, I think I'm going to give up. And she told that, through and through, she tried pushing herself, but our volunteers, our marshals, Dheeraj was the one who was sweeping everybody from behind. So he spoke to her along the way and got her. And you will not believe, there was a vertical trek. There is a pile of rocks. Okay, it is sort of a cave that you have to vertically push yourself and come out to be on top of the summit. So when she saw that, she was like, I don't think so, I will be able to do this. But when we told her that yes, you can do it with proper assistance, she was able to make it, and she had tears in her eyes that day. And she told, through and through, I've been body shamed. Through and through, people have made me feel really low about myself. My self image was hurt. But today, I feel that I can conquer my fears. So when we heard that and knew that, yes, we are impacting the lives of people, we were like, I think yes, it will succeed, because it's not just a product that we are giving, but we are sharing an experience, or spending time in their life, which will have an impact for a very long time.
Yeah, and for us, success is not just having a billion or having like 10,000 followers on Instagram. But yes, it does matter. At the same time, like Raj was just sharing our insight. We have had a few, stories. We have had few individuals thanking us at the end of the day and saying, it was because of you I've changed, or it is because of you people I got motivated. There was a girl who had come on a trek and she, sort of planned an itinerary with her help. And she took her mother, just her mother and herself. They went on a motorbike ride to Nandi Hills, and then they came back and then they sent an email saying, because of you people, we did it. And I mean, that's a measure of success. And every time I keep telling it to Raj also, every time we have a customer, like I would say, not customer exactly, every time we have our friends coming back to us for another adventure, I think that's success that we have. And somebody being able to cycle, somebody being able to push their limits hard, or somebody being able to conquer the fear of mountains, or somebody shaping the life, right? Few people do believe in us, and then when we say we are adopting girl child education for a good cause, and when somebody really thanks us for doing such things, we are not an NGO, right? But we're still doing a thing or a sort of role like an NGO. But somebody writes back to us, somebody nudges to us by giving that extra thing. Motivation is what I call. I think that's a success for me. And yeah, time and again, we have been able to get the stories.
And another thing for your assignment, if you want to like know what is the number of newcomers and number of people who come on treks, yes, there are, probabilities of new people joining us on treks, but the probability of people who have already come with us joining on treks is much higher. So you know that we are having a steady existing customers who will come with us over and over again. It is only because of the kind of experiences that they have had with us. And few of the practices and principles that we have at Team Parikrama, they have really liked it, and they have also started imbibing it in their daily lives. That definitely is a success for us.
And we personally believe getting better never stops. And like I mentioned, success, it does not just stay at a place, right? I have also described it a lot of times. Success is not a destination that we stay forever, or failure is not a place that we are going to be there forever. It is not just to be described. I mean, we get going and then there is no measure as such. That's what I personally.
It's all about the journey.
Like hearing all your customer experiences and each one story, so like spine chilling for me actually. And I wish you to keep going.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for answering all the questions which I had from my side. So I'll move on to Vikas.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir.
Hello, Vikas.
Thank you for accepting our request and also sharing your experience as well as information about your organization. So I also have a couple of
just a minute to just add on to the answer of success. I think I have been an alumni of Christ, and today Christ University students have approached back for an interview. So this is also a measure of success.
Definitely.
Anything to do with smile is success for us.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of questions. So can we know like what are you working on now? Like any current activities or events at present?
So at this point of time, wherein we have also like trying to expand our activities and diversify different things, we always try and keep a measure of what to activities or what add-ons to be given experience and things like that. We are working on a couple of projects. One such project is called Tour of Andaman, where we cover the entire islands through a cycle expedition. It's roughly about 300 kilometers. And beside that, we are also working on another project. It is called the Great Andaman Challenge, wherein it is a combo of three sports: swim, run, and cycle. That's another project that we are working on. We were also talking to you all about the challenges that we face. The challenge that we face is mainly of toilets. So we are also working closely on a project wherein we want to take up this problem of toilets and see how we can solve it in coming days.
Yeah, so that is something that we are currently working. See, Team Parikrama has always had one or the other activity during the weekends. Alternative weekends, we do have hikes and treks. But as a huge annual event that we host, we are having a multi-day cycling event. It is an international level opening event for cyclists to come and explore the Andaman Islands on cycle. And the way that you explore on bike, that is the bicycle, is completely different than just zooming past through in your motor vehicle or just in your car. So it's totally a different experience, and we've had some real good feedback on the tour of Andaman as well. And triathlon is another event that we have hosted, as he told. Even that triathlon, we have it as the Ironman challenge, etc. So similarly, we are also having the open ocean swim first, then bicycling for another few kilometers, like 10 to 20, and then running for another.
So that's something that we have in pipeline.
Yeah.
We want to just go about it. And Raj was also talking to you all about education sector in the beginning of the interview, right? So we are now also looking for a space wherein we want to educate more and more people on environment, education, girl child. There are SDGs. There are 3 SDGs that we are working on, Sustainable Development Goals, that we want to reach out to more number of schools and colleges, educate more people. And like Raj was just proposing to you all, we are happy that we are going to start with Mount Carmel College on 22nd. So 22nd also happens to be Raj's birthday. So yeah, I mean, there is a credit course we are going to offer in Mount Carmel College, which talks about ecology, survival, travel content and management. So there are 2 courses that we are rolling out. So that's about the existing projects. So there are.
Yeah. So my next question is that for any company, when you work as a team, there would be a conflict between your team and the managers. So have you ever faced any problem between your team?
A lot of times we do have fights. Okay.
100% it will be there. See, no two individuals are the same. My working style is totally different. His working style is totally different. And even with the team members that we had who will come in as marshals, they come with their own background stories and their own experiences and their way of working. And I will have to tell you, every organization needs a person who will sort of, to some extent, be that principal of a college or a vice chancellor that we are having in the university, who will be like a head on. This needs to be done. I don't mind being ruthless, but at the same time a bit considerate. I think like that kind of a vice chancellor in my team would be Dheeraj, and I am more of a person who is a bit on the laid back and get the work done in time and show the results. So it is like that. Whereas there will always be a conflict, especially in an organization. Managing the conflict is another important trick that all of us have to learn. For example, the assignment for you people to come together and fix up a time and actually come frame the questions, you would have seen so many conflicts would have come. Here and there, tips also would have taken place. Similarly, in an organization, that does happen. But one thing that we have learned is managing it through knowing and giving the scope for other person to experiment. Now, for example, his way is head on, right? giving that space for him to be head on to a certain time, and him understanding, okay, she is working on something, she will get back to me with results, for him to give the space. So experimenting, giving the space, acknowledging. See, I have always believed in this. There will always be a difference. Identify the difference, accept the difference, and respect the difference. Then there will be much harmonious kind of a relationship. So as we are like also married now and going ahead with Team Parikrama's work, definitely it had an overlapping kind of a thing in our personal life as well. But over the years of 2 or 3 years, we have realized how to resolve the conflict, manage it much better, and go ahead.
And just to add on, like whatever I'm going to say, it's going to be also a lesson or a takeaway for a lot of people watching this again. I think you cannot just be friends with everyone, right? At the end of the day, you will still have a handful of people saying no to what you do or being against with you and all those things. But you got to believe in the purpose that you are in, right? And you got to just stay focused. Things don't fall in right things, and you got to still believe in a few aspects. And the purpose is what matters at the end of the day. It is not just a person. We have lost a person, but not the purpose. People come, people go, but purpose is something that we have to stick on to. So, yeah.
So managing conflict is something that we will learn along the way. So
Yeah.
don't let it get.
Thank you. Thank you for answering my questions. So that's it from my end. Over to Harsha.
Okay, that was a fruitful session actually. So before we end, I just have one question left out. So I follow your Instagram page and I keep checking on your
Thank you so
story
much for
quite
that.
often. So I keep seeing stories about sustainability, as you mentioned, and zero waste policy that you guys do, like from the cutlery, right, from the simple food, and also connecting to the locals, not being anything fancy. Everything is very, very innovative and something that I could connect as a localite. So is there any new innovations that you are going to come up with, or is there anything running in your mind?
All right. So I got to you take the lead and then I follow.
Okay, I think something new that we are thinking of as of now is, yes, we have managed to pull off zero waste events, which is extremely difficult, but still we are managing. But at the same time, we are also trying to cut down on the food miles. Food miles is again something that will contribute towards the carbon footprint. So we are more looking at involving more of the local people on board with us, by which we don't have to rely too much on the things or the restaurants that are very far away. To cater to the basic traditional food and cut down on the food miles. That is something that we are thinking as to how we can go ahead. And we are also thinking of sustainable washrooms where we can, or something for the cyclist. I don't think so many of you will be able to connect when I'm saying this, because it is specifically for the cyclist. The challenge is for us to, when we wear our bib shorts and our jerseys and go, we will have to take out the entire thing in case we have to use the washroom, especially women. It is extremely challenging. So we are thinking of a product, if we can come up with a product which will help us to overcome this challenge, especially for the cyclists.
Yeah. So what she meant was the problem that most of the cyclists face is they have to keep themselves hydrated, which means a lot of water intake. So, and you need a bio break. So, but where do you go for a bio break? You don't find a toilet everywhere. So we are also thinking on those lines. And when we started with the innovative practice. When we take people on a trek, we not guide them all through the path, but then what we gave them is a map. and this map acted as a clue. Every clue that you pass would take you closer to the destination. So we are now also trying to think of it in a digital platform. How do we make it like, say, a Pokemon Go kind of thing, wherein people still think and all those things? Okay? So that's one thing that we are thinking of.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me because I knew that you would have something amazing in your minds. Okay, so like to
Harshita, I have one more question out
yeah,
of my own interest.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Like basically, they say when you want to start your own company, you have to start start it alone. You should be the sole writer, or you have to work everything on your goal. So, what motivated you to work together, and how did you like balance your egos?
Oh, very tough question and a head-on question, Vandana. See, we very soon in the journey we realized he's bringing something to the plate that I don't have, and I am bringing something to the plate that he doesn't have. And along the way, somewhere the egos did get in, and we did have conflict. And
like I mentioned, we still fight. Okay. So,
yeah, a lot of things. But now we have realized the importance each one brings to the organization. It is like, he brings something to Team Parikrama, which I definitely cannot give. I bring something to Team Parikrama that he definitely cannot. So it is like we are very well, it is like, how you pedal, you're balancing the cycle. And we know if we just stop pedaling, we will have to stop the organization.
So just to keep it short, understand the indifferences, like understand each of the person's strength and potential, vision, and like I said, everything just channelizing to the purpose that you all believe in. Right? If I could just give you an example, she is very good in like walk. So once we had walked from Bangalore to Tirupati on an expedition of 300 kilometers of walk. I was not performing well, but she did not blame me for it, right? And when we cycled, very recently also, we went on a cycle expedition of a similar capacity, wherein we cycled for about 400 plus kilometers. And she was not very good in that. So
he flies on the cycle. I cycle. He flies on the cycle, literally, because he's extremely fast and amazing at it. But he understood that, yes, this is not her forte, but she enjoys riding. Pleasure riding, yes, it is there for her. So it is that, we identify, and definitely it is a learning experience and learning curve that we have.
And most of you by now would have also understood that she is very good in her communication and I'm not. So when it comes to like content managing people, so when I have a parent calling me, I will just pass the call to her, right? So she's well acquainted for it. And when there is something that I have to handle, like a physical thing or maybe a challenge, something that she cannot handle, then she would just pass it on to me. So that's how.
When it comes to handling operations, he's excellent at it. When it comes to handling the public relations, etc., I am good at it. That's it. That's how we have just realized, and we have just been going.
And it's been a learning curve. And I would say, like, we have learned from everybody. There are people who have come on a trek and they have thought, okay, look, you can do it easier this way. Yeah. And we have accepted it.
Yeah. Or open for challenges as well as learnings.
I wouldn't say egos coming in between, but ideas coming in between. There would be days like, say, she would carry an idea and say, this is going to work. Then I would be like, okay, so I'm going to follow you, right? So, and then we just let each other experiment. And also now that we keep experimenting, and one has the pleasure and the pain also of making it successful. So
it's great that both of you are respecting each other's ideas and also working together. There's so much to learn from you guys.
Okay, we just have 9 minutes. I'll try to conclude because I also have a lot to tell. So I still remember seeing Rajkiran ma'am in the auditorium telling that she went on her first cycling expedition, and when she came back, she literally couldn't move. Her thighs were paining, but then her mindset that she had to complete the cycling made her through, and with her team she could do it. Right from there, I always wanted to like connect to Team Parikrama in some way or the other, but I couldn't travel till now. Okay, I always want to, but I cannot, but because I have something or the other in the dates. So uh, and I used to regret after everything. I used to, oh, Team Parikrama was there, I should have used that opportunity, or I should have used that platform. And today, I don't know, somehow your lecture on that day strike to my mind, and that's why I came back today, and I'm glad that it happened. So from this entire session, I could conclude that sticking on to your core is really important. Knowing your purpose, sticking on to your core or your vision is really important. And I take up life transformation, or personality classes basically. And my mentor there tells that if you take a ticket to Mysore, you can enjoy everything, right from Bangalore, Chanpatna, Kengeri, Mandya. You can enjoy everything, but your goal has to be Mysore. So like that, you guys have a vision that you have to make a change in somebody's life, and that is what your success. So when your vision is to empower a woman, everything is coming by itself, like right from the money, right from whatever. The risk doesn't matter to you, everything is coming on your own. So I would like to congratulate you on that. I actually forgot that point, that I have to stick to my goal. You guys reminded me about that, thank you. And then taking risk, then staying self-motivated is another point which is very important, like according to me, because as you told, everybody will not stay with you for like in certain situations. And act locally, go globally, eco-friendly. uh, I've written down so many things, but right now the main thing that is coming to my mind is sticking onto your core, and taking risk, and also being self-motivated. So thank you so much, it really means a lot having you
Just
both
to
here.
add on, Harsha, like
Yeah,
we cannot not be very perfect. We will never be perfect,
correct.
right? But we can be real to ourselves. So that's something that we can all be, and that's what Team Parikrama is. We are not perfect. We are just being real, and we don't hide things that we promise. We tell people what is possible and what is not possible. So,
Yeah. And not all companies or all entrepreneurs can share whatever they have. Only people who want to grow organically or who have thoughts which are very clear, they can share everything like you guys. I can totally see that from your faces that you've not hid anything from us. No company would tell their strategies. In such in such frank
so
way.
look, we would want more people to practice this. That's the reason we don't want to hide something, and there is nothing to hide. This is all
Yeah,
few things that we would do it right at the end of the
correct.
day. And we started putting out more and more of info on Instagram or any other content, just because we realize more number of people view it and more number of people should be aware of.
Okay.
That's the whole idea. And initially, when we started, we not do a lot of things, but today we are doing it.
Yes. That's what makes you where you are. As you told, Christ, people coming back to you and interviewing is definitely something you have achieved. So, congratulating you both on your success and your future endeavors. I would definitely come back to you both with something uh, planned up with my team. I'll definitely sit down and work on it, and I'll come back to you. I would look forward to work with you both. And with this, I would like to conclude the interview. This was really fruitful, and I'm really learning something from this. It's not like just for my marks, just for my assignment. I would definitely carry something, and I'm sure all my friends also would take something or the other. We would present this interview in the class, and I think we would talk also. That time it would be reaching to a bigger audience. So even if it doesn't reach, I'll make sure that I sit with my classmates or sit with my team and get back to you guys. Thank you so much for accepting, and it really means a lot to us.
Thank you so much, Harsha. You've been a very kind host, right from organizing it, keeping us informed, conducting, concluding. Vandana being so appreciative of our efforts, Lokesh, then other two members as well, Vikas, and one more person.
Rohan.
So, yes. So thank you very much for including us in your assignment. It is a real great pleasure to be sharing our story.
Yes.
And this is
Honest, because of time constraint, we reduced our questions actually. When you threw more answers or light on some topic, it made us have more questions to build on that, and that inquisitiveness to understand what we see in front is not the end. We need to see beyond that. So
Yes.
something what you were sharing was beyond what we had to see. So thank you so much for your time and efforts.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll click a picture. We'll have a group picture. Smile, everyone. Yes, one more. Yes, it's done.
Yes,
Thank you.
perfect. We
Thank you
wish
so much.
everyone the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the best for your assignments. Do really well. And we are very happy to share whatever little that we knew. And I hope it was helpful. And this is also a small measure of smiles and success.
Yeah.
Anything to do with smiles is success for us.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a pleasant
Bye, ma'am.
day.